Before we start this video, I'm gonna quickly address this comment.
Bruh.
There is an 1,000 balls, but is some knockoff 100 balls. I'm just like, yeah, no. Anyway, on with the video. Hello? Game Jam? Which one? GMTK? What is that? Game Maker's Toolkit, Mark Brown, never heard of it. 21,000 people? Fine, I'll make something. So I took part in GMTK Game Jam, and how did it go?
Started making it, had a breakdown. Bon appetit.
So everyone was on the edge of their seat, waiting for the theme to be announced. The GMTK stream was on, and the theme was joined together. Make a game in 48 hours with the theme joined together. Class, what will you do? Make a game where you control 2 characters. Make a game where you have 2 characters tied by a string. Love story. Queer love story. Social anxiety. Conversation simulator. So I got started, and to be honest, this was kind of a story I had in mind for a little while, but it wasn't fleshed out. I was inspired by Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Baby Driver and Taxi Driver. Baby Driver and Taxi Driver are 2 very different films. And I had the idea for a love story where you fancy this diner waitress who is like absurdly pretty, like the kind of person you'd see walking down the street that makes you stop and go, wow. You know what I mean? On the first night, I did not program at all. Didn't even make a Unity project yet. I just decided to plan out the game first. I opened up MS Paint to start scribbling down ideas, and I came up with the idea to make a game where you put words together to make sentences. That would be your conversation with Miss Cyanide. Miss Cyanide being a waitress called Penny, and you being Caroline, a shy, geeky queer girl who frequents the diner that Penny works at. I sketched up drawings of Penny and Caroline and sketched the diner. Then I created a Spotify playlist of music that really suits the vibe of the game, like what I'm aiming for. Link to the playlist is in the description. And then I went to bed. What, you think I'd actually pull all-nighter on this? I mean, I probably should have, but no. Man needs his sleep, you know. Second day, time to wake up and start actually making the game. Psych! I went mock-up mode. So, for the art, I picked the Starfall palette by Railslave, and I picked the font Field Guide by Like a Unicorn. I drew Miss Cyanide sprite, and I drew a mock-up for the word choosing minigame. Basically, it's a screen of floating bubbles with words in them, and there's a certain sentence that you have to make. You have a green wand, and you have to collect the words to make the sentence in order. I also drop a sprite for Caroline, and the story part of the game would basically be like a visual novel. So finally I did open up Unity and got to work. I made the bubble minigame first. I made a background and a wand and a panel canvas for the words to appear on. I made these bubble objects which have a negative gravity, so they constantly float upwards. I then made a spawner which randomly spawns 3 to 5 bubbles anywhere within the X range. This was a mistake, as I find out later. I attached a string list to the spawner, so each bubble would have a random string from that list, and the list would consist of the full sentence, plus some red herring words. If a word was selected, then it would be put into the sentence and displayed in the bottom panel. I then created a countdown timer, which was put in the corner to show how long the player has left to complete the sentence. At this point, I started adding my art, so I added the colourful pink background and I added the bubble sprites, which needed just a little resizing. Then I added the wand sprite and boxes, as well as import the font, and the scene was looking pretty good now. The game was playable. And once the sentence was formed or the timer ran out, a results screen would pop up saying what sentence you ended up saying. Now, I made this design choice, which turned out to be a stupid one, lesson learned. I could have either had it so that if the wand touched the bubble would be selected, or if the bubble was clicked. And I decided on both. Yeah, very bad decision. I also adjusted the speed of the bubbles, which was also done poorly. They should have been way slower. I'm so bad at this. So I started testing and found it was totally possible to get the right answer. Even though I should have made it a lot easier. To let the player know they have succeeded, I added this green tick to show up when the sentence is formed properly. And that was the second day. Then came the final day. So I put together a title screen and animated it because that makes everything better. And then I started on the rest of the game. Made the dialogue system basically out of string cheese and sawdust. Yes, it really is that terrible. And made the scene with alternating sprites and a diner background. Then the game needed sound and music. I got sound effects for popping bubbles off freesound.org, and I got my long-suffering friend Crispin to make some tracks for the game, using of course the Spotify playlist for inspiration. I managed to finish the game and submit in time, which was a win for me as this was my first GMTK Jam. Now, I'm not gonna show you the actual game because that would spoil it. And you're gonna have to play the game for yourself and find out the story. Link is in the description, of course. And while you're there, click that like and that subscribe button. Follow the Twitter, join the never mind, don't join the Discord. It's absolutely cursed. And leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.